is the Stubborn German podcast, coming to you from the Stubborn German Brewing Company in beautiful Waterloo, Illinois, which is just a stone's throw away from the greater St. Louis metro area. And I'm Kevin Ostie, joined by the proprietor of the Stubborn Druman. The Stubborn Druman.
We did change our
podcast. So it's been like a couple episodes I missed now. Mr. Chris Ron, welcome.
Hi there, Kevin. How's it going?
Dynamite, now that I know where I am. We're joined also by our esteemed producer, Mr. Jared Chasson.
Good evening.
And our lucky guest this evening, Mr. Ryan Hampton. Welcome.
I'm very happy to be here.
I could tell.
So lucky.
Yeah. Lucky and happy. Well...
Yes,
we do.
Been a while,
Kevin.
We
do you remember how this works?
We do start these episodes with an amazing, challenging, and very satisfying game. You familiar with this, Ryan?
No.
It's called the German Word of the Day.
Oh, cool.
Ryan, did you know we have a podcast?
Yes, I did.
Oh, great.
Here we are.
I've watched from afar a few times.
You watched the podcast from afar. Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, so because you were watching from afar, you probably couldn't hear it.
That's true.
No, I was busy enjoying the beer.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Even better.
Oh, you were alive. He was his live studio audience.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
We're going to hear a lot less clapping this time because he's.
I thought he was being a smart aleck. Like, oh, yeah, I watch your podcast.
That doesn't have cameras.
Yeah.
He just stares at the logo the whole time, waiting for the stubborn German guy to wink at him. So the German Word of the Day is a game that Chris monopolizes because he throws out a German word and we're supposed to guess what it is.
That's correct.
And then the winning answer, if there is one, is revealed at the end of the show.
Okay.
So did you brush up on your Deutsch?
No.
You didn't get any of the notes, did you?
Nope, no notes. Nope.
I kept it pretty short and sweet when I asked him. Okay, well, here we go. German word of the day is Tischler. Tischler.
Well, we do like to be polite on this podcast and let our
would've
guests
thought that
go
was
first.
coming?
For sure.
What is Tischler?
Yes, what does Tischler mean? In Inglés, por favor.
I don't know.
Requested in Spanish.
Right.
Is it a delicious sausage?
A delicious sausage.
That's a great.
Okay.
You took my
Ryan
guess
is delicious sausage. Okay.
Tischler.
Kevin?
A Tischler is it's somebody who does something. Just I'm going to get there. Hold on.
Okay. Someone who does something. I'm going to get there. Hold on.
I'm going to say it is somebody who bargains.
Somebody who bargains.
All right.
A
bargainer.
A bargainer.
Yes.
Could I write that instead
sure.
of somebody who bargains? That's
Either
easier.
way, whatever's proper.
Bargainer.
Whichever
Okay.
one's right.
Yes.
Tischler. I'm going to stay in the meat vein and say
Stay on the meat vein.
Okay.
That sounds more exciting than it probably is.
a tri-tip steak. Tri-tip.
Right on.
Tri-tip
Yep.
steak. Tri-tip.
Now we can all get off the meat vein.
All right. Everyone try to leave the meat vein alone here for a
Nice.
minute.
Amazing.
I got to say, I'm a little weirded out. I'm not sure how I feel about it. There's a customer here with an old school Darryl Strawberry jersey on.
Yes.
And I love the vintageness of it.
Yeah.
But it's the Pond Scum Mets. And so I'm
know.
like, I don't know. You know, it's like.
I know him.
It's
He's
okay.
a good guy.
Okay, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide.
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
All right. It's a cool jersey, though. I love that.
I know. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa, who brought that in?
Yeah.
Well,
Old school.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because you get a lot of variety of different people in here. And
We sure do. Even Mets fans.
That's part of the-
Even Mets fans are welcome.
part of the fun of seeing who
Stubborn
shows up.
German.
We're very progressive.
You're so progressive.
right.
So, Ryan, this is definitely not your first time here at the Stubborn German
Oh,
Brewing
no.
Company.
No, very big fan.
And you're one of the people that has a long history with this place, getting this off the ground, right?
That's
Yep.
right, yeah. Ryan was a big cog in the wheel of getting things accomplished here during our construction phase. So we thought the reason to bring Ryan on now, I guess when this airs, it'll be a week or two away from our late April anniversary, our 7-year anniversary. So
Yeah.
we got that coming up. But we kind of wanted to look back and try to remember some of those really fun days, evenings, into the wee hours of the morning. Of
That really fun day.
like working
Oh, yeah.
here before we were open. And
Oh, yeah.
trying to
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of delicious beverages waiting for when we were done working.
Were they that delicious? I mean, we were drinking any alcohol and eating any pizza that we could find at that point.
That's true.
After you put in the work, it's that much better.
Oh man,
That was always the carrot, though. That was
the pizza and the booze.
Yeah. As you get this done, you get pizza and beer.
You can't play with the saw until
we were always very responsible.
Yes,
Always following the safety rules. Power saws before, beer after.
There you go.
That's right.
Don't drink and
in
saw.
that order. Yeah, don't drink and saw.
There are worse friends to help out than a brewer. When they say,
sure.
well, you get a little bit of the product or whatever.
I definitely turned down some family member jobs for. I got this very noble cause I have to help.
Yeah, we weren't renovating an office building. I mean,
50-story.
You weren't doing drywall in our brother-in-law's basement,
right?
So, what was it that you contributed? What's your area of expertise?
Just start looking around. You can pretty much see.
Oh yeah, there's pretty much every corner I've helped with something, and then it was awesome.
I was
from demo to fun finish work.
I was trying to remember some of the specific things. So, like the sign at the bar there, the metal sign, he cut that out. He cut it out, I painted it, and we kind of all hung it up.
Oh, cool.
The sign that's out front.
Hold on. I'm still on the sign here. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing out front, so it's kind of one of the same.
Gotcha. So that was like a CNC plasma table?
Oh, yeah. The cool thing about the sign was I incorporated this sign with lessons I was teaching at the time at school. So I had.
So Ryan's a shop teacher.
Yes, I am shop teacher.
There you go.
There are worse friends to have when you're opening a brewery. Than a shop teacher.
I actually used the sign in my design teaching CAD. So we designed the sign after Chris gave me the PDF of what the sign would be, and we traced it out in CAD after he gave me the picture. And then we put it on our plasma table and cut it out. And the sign in front actually has the best story. The sign that's in the brewery I pretty much did myself, but the sign that is out on the front of the building, I had a very gifted student, gave him a few lunch bucks for helping with that one. We worked on that one after school. But he actually used that to enter a welding competition. So,
right on.
So
That's cool.
I was able to have him practice on that sign, and that one is very important because it's rather heavy. You don't want it to fall on patrons.
For sure, hanging out over the street. Yeah.
So it's structurally welded with one of the best students I had. With good old 70-18 rods and able to mount it to the front of the building and be sturdy and safe. So it was a pretty cool project doing the front sign.
It's up there too. We hung it up there and I shook it and gave it a little back and forth, and I was like, that baby's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It hasn't.
Do you remember what year in school that student was that helped you at the time?
Oh yeah, I mean that was right before you opened. I mean that was one of the last things you did was hang the signs. Was probably.
But I mean, how old was the student?
The student at the time was a junior. In 2015, almost 2016
years ago. So he's
fall of 2015.
Able to drink here now or soon?
I would think so.
Oh yeah.
You need to buy that kid a beer.
Yeah, we owe that kid a beer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His sign's hanging out there proudly today.
There's actually a few students that have donated their
that we
time.
owe beer to.
Put them on the list.
There's been a few that I've celebrated their 21st birthdays with here, and
nice.
And either Chris was here or I called Chris. I'm like, hey, so and so's here. put us on the list.
Yeah.
One of the best students that we had was my concrete mason. Shout out to Heine Concrete out of Columbia. Heine Concrete is a father-son concrete outfit that does finished work, and we did the concrete for the back area where Chris has storage and what's that tank that's out there?
There's a fermenter out there.
Oh, there's fermenter out there. Yeah.
All of our AC units are out there.
Yeah. That was a fun time that Chris designed it, and he's like, okay, it has to start up here at the front of the very back of the brewery, and it tapers off. But it needs to stay level. So it's going to get to be almost 2 foot thick at the back.
Oh boy!
They're like, we got to figure this out. And like, okay, I know just the guy that can help us out. So we did it as a class job, and everything with the school in Columbia was like, oh yeah, the kids are going to learn something, and they're further their career and wanting to be either a construction worker or a contractor, and I mean, a lot of the work was done by us, but they were learning, and they helped pour the concrete, and then they had to leave by school finishing time. So when we poured that concrete for the back, it was 5 o'clock. I mean, the kids got to see us pour it out and get it ready and start it, but then they had to go back to school. So the bus driver took them back to school.
There was literally a school bus here.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, literally a school bus there. And then me and Chris were like, okay. And at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of concrete experience, but I knew a guy. So one of my students. So he came back that evening and helped us finish it. And at the time, it was getting to where it was a little like it needed to be done. So he got out there on a knee board and he was smoothing it out and straightening it out. And we threw some rebar on top of there before we finished it.
Yep.
And we got it done. But it was about 9 o'clock at night before it was finished. And then fast forward to when you put the tank on there, Chris was like, "Is this going to be strong enough for 1,000 pounds of beer to be on top of it?" And I'm pretty sure it'll work. And as far as I know, there's no cracks in it.
Nope, haven't seen a crack yet.
I was going to say, as far as I can remember, it's a good-looking slab of concrete. No cracks or chips or anything.
They did a great job, yeah.
Now, how cool is that concept that these students had their hands on not only a real project, but one that they can drive past this for the rest of their life and go, you know what, I worked on that.
Yeah.
Or I worked on that sign.
Oh, they still talk about it. I mean, I have a good handful of students that spent extra time, and they gave them community service hours. Like, that was part of it. Like, everything was okay through the school, and they got, because in Columbia they get community service hours for helping the community, helping small businesses, helping them flourish. And if you did time, then you got hours towards graduation. And those students, like, there was a couple, like, putting bar stools together. Like,
right. Forgot about that.
I mean, dude, there's a lot.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah, we put the bar stools together, and the kids hung out, and you got them pizza.
Yep.
And we had a good old time doing that.
Universal currency of pizza.
And then in the basement, digging the plumbing ditches. Like we dug the ditches.
Don't remind me of that.
in that area, and we were gonna do the floor. But then you're like, I don't know if the kids can. So once we dug the plumbing ditches, you're like, I don't know if we can trust this to the novices. So we ended up doing.
It doesn't sound like anything I would say. I'd normally say, bring on the novices.
They're cheap, right?
Yeah, they work for pizza. Bring them on.
No, they did do the tail end of it because
that's right. That last little section,
right under the stairs.
To finish. Yep.
Yeah, right under the stairs.
They did some of it. Yep.
Yeah, but the finishing around the drains had to be done just right.
Sure.
So that was understandable. But yeah, they did the plumbing dishes.
They did a lot. They did a lot of between you and I. And then sometimes your kids would come and help, but we did like all of the framework and the drywall in the bathrooms.
Those were the late nights.
Yeah, those were the very late. Those were the nights. Okay, so here's how it went. I would be here from 7 in the morning until, go home for a minute and eat some lunch, maybe take about a 15-minute cat nap just to like re-strengthen, because you're going to be here all night too. And, you kind of get some things finished up, and then Ryan calls like, hey, I got a couple hours if you want. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
It was definitely like that. So it was the full year of I came out about 3 days a week. I mean, it was
11 months that it took from the day we got the keys to the day we opened. So
it was. And sometimes I'd spend a longer day on a weekend, but it was asking the wife like, hey, Chris needs help. I mean, even if I didn't know for sure if he needed help or not, I'm like, I want to come. I want to come to the brewery, because it was just so much fun. I mean, I had a blast. I mean, I got.
I'm glad you had fun.
Well, you
I did too. I mean,
you had countless hours in on this thing.
But it's something I won't ever forget. I don't do that stuff, but like to be here and be around it and actually get my hands dirty, and I'm good enough to be dangerous at it, and I feel like I'm okay if you explain what I need to go do, and I do it over and over and over. I'm that kind of help.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I did look forward to it when you would get here, And I mean, even like right now, Tammy and I still talk sometimes. Like, can you remember when we like dug the ditches in the basement it was a dirt floor down there, so we're digging plumbing ditches, and just thinking of that kind of stuff. And it's like, man, we are forever grateful for Ryan and his family and his his wife for being tolerant to Ryan being gone. Yeah, exactly. And because so you guys didn't have to be, and we appreciate it.
How did you guys meet? Because you guys obviously go back a while.
Oh yeah, Chris and I have been friends since freshman year of high school. Because you went to SPPS and I was always in public school, and then you started, and we kind of bonded over maybe heavy metal.
Nice.
And and both being fans of Metallica, and our friends had a band, and Chris was a drummer, and
still is.
Allegedly.
It's like being in the Marines. Like once you're a drummer, you're always a drummer.
There's no former drummers,
right?
No, hold on. I have to take that out. Drumming has nothing to do with being the Marines, or even
especially your ability.
Right.
Does not equate to anything armed forces related.
I need to knock that out.
We
right
always
now.
say Chris is pretty much like a Marine.
Yeah, we do. I said it twice today. Yeah. Chris is the few and the proud. I'll tell you that much.
Oh.
But no, we had a lot of fun with Ryan in high school. Actually, one story that I always like to bring up and remind Ryan of whenever I see him is the time that we borrowed your key to your truck.
Borrowed.
Ryan said, "Move my truck" or something, and so one of us had a key and went to Walmart and made a copy of the key. This is when you could do that.
Yes, right.
What year was that truck? Like a 98 or 99?
Let's be specific. Let's be specific. First of all, I had no idea you were involved until now.
Till now. So, no, he didn't. Now he's going to take all of his stuff down.
So
I'm taking signs down.
I'm going to have to run here as soon as this is over.
So I worked at McDonald's for 3 years in high school. Sophomore through senior year of high school, I worked at the old McDonald's in front of Rural King. And our good buddy Larry was one of my coworkers, and I had one of his CDs, and he's like, "Let me get my CD out of your truck."
Look at all these old terms. CD, the old McDonald's.
Yeah. Next thing I know, he's driving off in my truck, and little did I know he went to make 14 or more. I heard the number was 14. I heard it's much higher. Many copies of my key.
Everybody had a key.
I still have two.
Everybody had a key to my truck. And they would...
So what we did, every morning before... So, wait, what was the deal? You had to be in school early for a class or something, right?
Oh, yeah, I had, like, co-op.
Yeah. So he was at school...
Shop teaching, being a responsible young adult.
Oh, like making something of yourself? Ah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't there yet. They didn't have brewing school. So Ryan's truck is already in the parking lot at, like, 7 a.m. So we roll in at, like, 7:30 to go to 8 o'clock, whatever, first class. And he's got we have to walk past his truck because we've all got a crappier parking spot than him. So we're walking past. Someone grabs the key. Someone grabs the for sale sign that we put in his window.
Nice.
With his phone number on it. And then...
So many calls. So
one of us would always get out of school before Ryan, so they would take the for sale sign out. So Ryan never knew that there was a for sale sign in his truck. He would get these phone calls of like, "Are you selling that brand new truck out there for like $4,000?" Ryan's like, "No."
Quit calling me.
The worst part was when they would. I would go into the movies with my girlfriend in the brand new RMC Cinema right across from the Family Video, and they would. I would go in with my girlfriend and watch a movie, and I'd come out to a truck not in the parking spot.
Nice.
And that was back when they just started putting chips and keys, so they couldn't start it. So what they could do was put it in neutral and push it into the cornfield.
Oh man!
So then I would have to start it in the cornfield when I found it.
And she's like, "You left the e-brake off again," and it rolled.
It's a pretty flat parking lot.
Luck. Well, at least I could start it in the cornfield.
Yes, that's awesome.
Lots of good fun was had there.
Oh,
what's Ryan doing tonight? How can we screw? I'm sorry.
And you still showed up to build his brewery.
And the reason I had you on the podcast, I'd like to officially apologize for that.
Now that I know that you were in cahoots the whole time. The whole time I've been thinking Larry was solely responsible.
Oh, right. Who didn't have a key to your truck?
Well, I knew he distributed them.
Yes, that was all. That wasn't me. That was him.
I think half of the parishioners of this town have a key to that truck.
Whatever happened to the truck?
My dad still has it.
Yeah, so it's still around,
so
and there are
still out
it is a pristine '99 Ranger. My dad restored it. If he only knew
He's
that
had it at the
it's been in the
Optimus
car.
show-
It's
at
been
the
in the
car
car
show.
show.
Yeah.
It's been in the Optimus car show, and
Yeah.
it's won a trophy.
Wow.
If my dad only
I
knew.
remember that now that you
Black
say that.
99 Ranger.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like brand new.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's great, Chris. You
I
got
took, care of it, unlike Chris's
had
cars.
had to restore it after everything Ryan put it through.
Hey, Ryan, in
all,
quotes.
all the cornfields he drove.
Not-
to.
not
the
near as-
14 key masters.
Not near as bad as some of Chris's stunt cars that he had.
Chris's Fiero? What are you talking about?
Fiero. The Fiero wasn't half of the Le Mans. He treated like Dukes of Hazzard.
That was,
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
I've heard a few stories there.
That was impressive. The power slides that he would put that thing through.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, as you're telling these stories, it's kind of funny. It makes me think of a lot of different things. But, again, you still came back to help him put the brewery together, knowing all
What a
that.
guy.
What a hell of a guy.
In spite of all that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the way kids should be. You have fun, you poke fun at each other, and you still help. You're still there for each other.
That's right.
Beer and
you
pizza
come back
is a powerful thing.
You come back for more.
Beer and pizza is a powerful thing.
So as you you come here to the Stubborn German Brewing Company, and now we're at 7 years on, just about, right?
Yeah.
And look around. I mean, the great thing is that the work you did is standing the test of time, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Quality stuff. Do you look back in any particular aspect of this and go, man, that was tough, or I would do it differently, or?
Oh, definitely part of the demo was the horsehair plaster situation.
Oh boy.
The horsehair plaster situation, would we try 4 different techniques till we finally figured out the best one
To knock that plaster off?
Oh yeah. To clean the brick
clean it, yeah.
Oh yeah, to clean the brick and make it look pristine and make it look like have that rustic look to where it didn't look like a building that was going to fall down.
Yeah. We tried 5 different ways, and I'm still not sure we got it all.
Oh yeah, I mean we pretty much went down. I mean, what we started with, what we thought was the best was like power, power brushes.
Yeah,
and it
on a
made
grinder.
on a grinder
Yeah.
made so
Wow.
much dust.
Yeah, I'm
And
still coughing from that one.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
So
And,
the term the horsehair, was it actual horsehair? Just
Oh,
what they call
yeah.
it?
Oh yeah, no, it's actual horsehair plaster.
I mean, I don't know what kind of animal it come off of, but Ryan was saying it was a horse. So I believed him.
Somewhere there's a bunch of bald horses out there.
Oh yeah. Well, I think there was a lot of them
Horses
back
without
then.
tails?
Right.
I mean, that was the only place you got glue. I mean, you had to.
use
You
the
went through
rest
a lot
of
of
it.
horses.
Wow.
And it'd be thick in some spots, it'd be thin in
Right.
others. Cause,
Do you remember the spot over here by the bathrooms, right across the bathrooms?
Oh, yeah.
Like we couldn't. So like the majority of it, once we really got into it, if you took a hammer, just a ball peen hammer or something, and
Oh, yeah.
just started hitting it, like you'd give it a couple good whacks, and about a foot or 2 square foot
yeah.
area would kind of fall
That's
off.
where we figured it out.
Yeah,
that,
and that was the
would
easiest.
chip it off.
Yeah, but back here, you do that, and like an inch would fall off,
Oh,
and
yeah.
another
Oh, man.
inch, and it's like, oh, my elbow is on
Oh, yeah.
fire just thinking of that.
Well, and the cool thing was you remembering this as Rimey's Jewelers, where
Yeah.
it was before
Right.
this place, and the whole back area where the main long tables are was storage for Rimey's.
Right.
And they had a loft in there. And I remember it was really fun to take down that loft.
Yeah.
And we had the 2 gaping holes from the beam that was for that loft. And
Yeah.
you're like, we need to try to find some brick to match. And
So
we're
this is a hole in the brick wall.
Oh, yeah.
That held the structure for
Yes.
this loft.
And that's what
he's
those
talking
are?
Yes,
That's what those are,
and
yeah.
you can tell exactly where they were because I know where there's some site fired brick because at the time I lived in Edwardsville. I just moved back to Waterloo from Edwardsville, and I had a friend that had a bunch of site fired brick, and I'm like, well, I think I got some brick we can plug the hole with. And then we bring it in, we put it in. I'm like, it's a different color, different part of the state. We're going to go with it.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, it is a character element of the wall.
and it has a story.
Now I know what the story is.
There you go.
It's pretty
Yep.
cool.
And there's a couple more on this side too, obviously, because it went across there.
I actually learned how to tuck point from this building and actually gave that on to my students. I'd never tuck pointed before, and
Really?
I never tuck pointed before.
You didn't tell him
and
that.
did some. No, I didn't.
like
I did.
really?
No, I got
I
this.
did a YouTube video.
I
and
watch
it's like,
YouTube,
you know how to do this? And I'm like, yes, I do. I totally know how to do this. 14-minute YouTube video. All right, got it.
That's
Well,
it,
the
man.
best part about that project is I came in the next day and it was done.
Yes.
I don't
yes.
remember what I was doing, but I wasn't around for
No,
that.
no,
and I
you
just
weren't.
came in and I'm like, look at that.
Yep.
So-
Holes filled.
It sounds like the building was well built the first time. If you had that much of a challenge to, strip the plaster and all the rest of it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. You could. I mean, it's a Masonic temple. They're.
That's all I got to say, man.
Oh, yeah.
Square and true and straight and flat.
When your buddy from high school who used to steal your truck and who knows what else had your metal band interest together, when he calls you up and says, "Hey, I'm opening a brewery. I need your help." What's the first thing that goes through your head?
You go, oh, hell no.
He's got this. He's the right guy,
no.
or are you thinking, come on, Chris?
Well, here's the thing. We talked Chris into doing this for years because his first go at making beer was atrocious, and it was so bad. But I also knew that he had drive, that he had. He's like, I'm not gonna go down like this. Like we're gonna get better.
Too big of an idiot to know when to stop. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
He never knew when to quit.
All right, that's what it takes.
And then it turned into I'm making decent beer now, and we started having Oktoberfest parties at his house, and it was something that all his closest friends look forward to for how many years? How many years did you do at your house?
Oh, shoot, probably 5 or 6, I would say, before we even started this.
Yeah, and I think you were barely a year or two in before everybody's like, dude, open a brewery, like start making this. It's better than some of the micro. Like I'll tell you right now, I was never a fan of any micro beer at all. And I know you might say I'm biased because he's my friend, but I was not
You're
a fan.
biased because you're my friend.
That's true. No,
You're still his friend.
I did not like any micro beer. I was Bud Light, Busch Light, Budweiser. That was it. I didn't like anything else. And he introduced me to my first Oktoberfest beer. He introduced me to my first Hefeweizen beer. Like I never drank Blue Moon before him. Like I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. You'd had. At your peak, you probably had 6-7 beers.
At home, you mean?
Yeah.
Or,
At home before.
Well, some of those later Oktoberfest, I think we had 10 or 11 on tap.
So how many tapper, when you made your sweet tapper setup out of your 1940s refrigerator door?
4 in there. There was 6 in there. 6 in there. Then I had a jockey box. There was 10. I had a 4-tap jockey box.
And then
those
you
6
always
was
had
10.
a pumpkin that you
Oh,
put
yeah,
in
the
a pumpkin.
So that was 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then we had the Hammerschlagen game.
Die
Yeah,
Hammerschlagen.
that was fun.
We need to figure out how to incorporate that.
Yeah.
I could help with that.
The stubborn German lawyers are on that as we speak.
Yeah.
How do you give drunk people a hammer and nails and
Right,
not get
We could
sued?
we could put a string on it to where you can only swing it so far.
Yeah,
There you go. The Hammerschlagen and the goat are both challenges legally.
they are. Yeah,
But I remember being at those parties too, and drinking from that same fridge, thinking, "Hey, where did he get this? This is good."
Oh yeah.
yeah. Where do you find this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did he steal this beer
Well,
from?
you didn't see all the beer I had to dump just to get to that many good ones.
Oh.
It was worth it, man.
Well, the coolest thing too was the Frankenstein's workshop of hoses coming from the basement and through the garage and around the garage and to the really neat engineered refrigerator door that you opened up, and there's this treasure trove of beer tappers that are just like, ooh, what do I want? It's like a candy store for somebody that just was in college. I was in college, just barely out of college when you were doing that.
Right.
And I'm just pounding regular beer and like, this is really good beer.
Yeah.
Like I'm just used to
It's a whole new world.
chugging the light stuff.
Yeah, Ryan had some rough nights.
Oh, it was fun. I think I only used your couch once or twice when
That's not bad.
when my
He
soon to be
normally
wife
just use the backyard. Or,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh there was a lot of using the backyard.
yeah.
For sure.
So, I think we're uncovering that one of the reasons why Tammy was so supportive of this venture is just to get all the hoses out of the house.
That's a pretty good point. I don't even think that she was all about this. She wanted it out of her house.
That's a great point.
She wanted it out of her house.
That's a great point. That's
she's
why we're here.
I don't even know that she knew it would be lucrative. She just wanted it out of her house.
Does this mean all this stuff goes away? Do it.
I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Now,
great.
how long did you have that kind of setup at your house, but you were thinking about starting a brewery before you actually took the steps?
Honestly, not that long. I mean, that had always been kind of something in the back of. I mean, anyone who makes beer is probably
Right,
the very
dreaming
first
of-
batch.
yeah.
You're thinking like, oh, I wonder how my
could
brewery
do
would
this.
look.
I can do this.
So it's always like there, but you
Yeah.
never really act on it. It's not something that you're really trying to do. But I don't know. I'd say, well,
Until you do.
until you do, then you know, yeah. So I mean, really, just probably 2 years before we opened, I would say. So a year before we got the keys to this place is when we really started to dig into it and take it seriously. So yeah, So
as
9
we,
years ago.
as we come up on the anniversary, what were some of the first steps that you had to take to say we're going to do this, or are we going to do this?
The biggest thing we had to do,
to call Ryan.
was call
Yeah, right.
Ryan, make sure. No,
Get my
first
schedule
thing-
straight.
First thing was to find equipment. So that we bought equipment, and that was like the first
Before
kinda
you had
like-
a building?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We had this stuff in storage, and for a little
Yeah.
bit before we even had a building. But yeah, that was kind of the big thing. It was like, if I can find some used equipment for a price that I can afford, we had a little chunk of money set aside to buy equipment if it would ever show up. There's like a auto trader online for
Yeah.
brewers. It's called Pro Brewer. So you just go there and see who's selling what. And it was a turnkey 3-barrel brewery, and I'm like, okay, well that might work. And called the guy, and you're next one up if you want to come up to Minnesota this weekend.
Right.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
I got to line up all my big friends.
Yeah.
Just got real.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there is a delicate balancing act because you don't want to have a space that you can't do anything with.
Right?
And then you don't want a whole bunch of equipment you can't put somewhere.
The thought was get the equipment, we'll figure out where we're going to go.
Yeah.
And I assumed that size would be decent, and turns out it's perfect for us. It could be just a hair bigger. 4 or 5 barrels would be better, but 3 barrels is good for what we do. But yeah, it's worked out great, and this is really, really good quality stuff that I didn't even know that I was getting. Honestly, I knew nothing about what I was buying. I was just buying some equipment that had made good enough beer where this brewery didn't go out of business that I bought it from. They were expanding.
Well, that's a
Right.
good metric, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, it can't be that bad. So
Yeah, and what everybody needs to understand is when you're starting a mom and pop brewery and you're doing brewery tanks, like they're rather large. And you need friends and help, or I mean, when you're
Ryan
getting
got to brew all
started,
these?
it was neat because he told me 3 weeks out, okay, I have my system showing up, and the whole facade of the building was open, we got to get it in, and this is the time frame, and we had enough good sized friends where he was coming in on a flatbed trailer to carry these puppies inside,
Because you can't get them out.
yeah.
Nope, they're locked in.
They're in. They're in.
Yep. Yeah.
Now,
just noticed that.
that's the whole, because the front facade of the building was flush to the sidewalk, and we did it in unison with tearing out the.
Yeah, we tore.
We did it in unison with, because it was a couple days before we finished tearing out the original front,
Right.
and to get prepared for allowing there to be a patio in front.
Yep.
And so we can get these puppies in here,
Right.
And it was intense, and they were. I mean, he called every decent sized buddy he had available to carry these babies in here. And did you have the tile floor done?
No, we set them right here in between the two
Okay.
white posts.
Yeah,
is where
'cause
they'll-
I helped do the
'cause there's
tile, too.
In the basement, there's a wall under that, a brick wall. So we're like, I don't know how heavy these are. We're just going to put them there. And then, we did the tile.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, and then I just assumed you didn't do the tile work. So you did help with the tile too? Wow.
Between Ryan and my father-in-law, Don, and me, we did it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
And talk about another thing that's lasted. I mean, you don't do tile right, it doesn't last 7 years. So.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that an hour podcast is ever going to cover.
Right?
Everything you
Everything
did
that
to this
happened
place because I mean Don was obviously the huge, like he was always the guru. Like I knew a little bit and I was just willing to help. And Don was always the carpentry guru to make everything look really pretty.
Sure,
and work hard at it.
We should throw some props to Don for sure because as many hours you spent your evenings here.
Yeah.
He spent his whole day here.
Oh yeah.
I got to spend all that time here.
Oh yeah,
No,
And I know he's your father-in-law and everything, and you appreciate everything that he did.
For
but
sure.
I appreciate him just because I was still fairly young, and I mean I'd had 10 years in my shop teaching career, and I learned a lot from Don.
Yeah.
Like just working here with him.
Right.
Like I learned so many different things, and one was don't touch his extension cords. And he told me how.
I learned that early on as well.
Yep. We'll wind up your extension cords properly. He taught me how to do it, and then he still wouldn't let me do it.
No, that's definitely a thing.
That's your lasting impression.
I learned a good amount from. I appreciate Don, and I did learn some from him, and I carried it on to my students. He's definitely a master carpenter. Had a great time. One of my favorite times was when we were making the bar top. And some of the tables, because I know you guys spent days on that. I had about 2 days involved in helping with the bar top, and we did it. What is the name of the guy that owned the wood shop?
Steve, right?
Steve
McFarland. Yeah,
yes,
he actually
Steve
passed away a few years back. But
yeah. Shout out to him because he was awesome.
Yep.
And we were gluing the bar top together at midnight.
Yeah.
We started on it. It was late because we were doing something else.
Well, it was a race to get opened up at that point.
Yeah, it was a race to get opened up, and we were trying to get going. And we worked with Steve, and I thought it was I didn't know Steve very well until I did, because you and Don just booked out and left me there talking to him. and all of a sudden I'm talking to Steve. All of a sudden I'm talking to Steve, and Ron and Don are gone. And like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, I'm talking to him till 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
nice.
So, but it was cool because that shop is awesome that he had. And speaking of the race to the finish, one of my most appreciative moments of being a part of this was before there was ever a soft opening, before there was an opening. I greatly appreciate that Chris and Tammy opened the brewery to my wife and I's diaper party for our firstborn.
I mean, thank you. That's nice of you to say, but you did have your diaper party in like a half-finished brewery.
The coolest thing about that day,
that's awesome.
So they agreed to it like a few weeks out. They agreed to it, having a diaper party here, and it was literally our only diaper party, baby party here for our firstborn. That we moved back to Waterloo for the sole purpose of hopefully conceiving, because we had some trouble with that and everything. And Chris and Tammy knew that very well.
Came back to the land of fertility.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And but the cool thing about it is like they were racing to get done, and like, let me throw this. Let's do a little bit more motivation. Let's have a party here. And that day that we had the party, the tappers were not installed yet.
Oh boy!
And Chris is like, okay, I really want the tappers for your party. Let's get them done. So I came at like 9 or 10 in the morning that day, and we I don't even remember what all we did. We worked for like 3-4 hours.
We literally took
maybe 5 hours.
The whole draft tower was not installed, so all that had to be done. Make all those line connections everywhere.
Yeah.
Install the glycol lines and everything.
Yes.
It was a whole thing.
Oh yeah, you had like 10 beers done.
Yeah, we had beer ready to open.
Yeah, you had 10 beers done, and I think half of them my wife considers her favorite. It was like the
Nice.
Irish. It was like obviously Stubbornfest, the Irish Red. Like there were so many, like, because you had like 10 beers done, and you're like, I'm hooking them all up. They're all getting hooked up. We're gonna try them all out. It was awesome.
That was a good time.
And remember, I brought a temporary bar top.
Yep, that's still in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
cool.
We use that as an extra table. Yep.
Oh, nice.
If you need that back, just let me know.
I don't.
Okay,
need
good.
it.
I don't feel like moving it.
That's really cool. So that tower, did that exist and you just installed it here? Or did you guys make that then?
No, we bought that. So bought that, but it came in a giant cardboard box with all the hoses, all the So lots of tiny little pieces that all just need to get put together.
Yeah, and it's got to be leak checked and the whole thing. Yeah. That's.
We leak checked it.
I bet.
It did not. We were good.
Oh yeah, and then so the diaper party went amazing. By the way, lots of props from everybody. Diapers were.
Throwing them around like
they were in abundance.
How many?
Not a lot of people know this is the number one place to have a diaper party in Waterloo.
Oh, it should be for sure.
How many people were here for that?
Oh, I think there were quite a few. We had about almost 50.
Wow,
really? For that night, I was very, very happy. He had plenty of beer, plenty of beer. I mean, you can't have a diaper party without beer. And if you're going to have a diaper party with the best beer, it really helps. Not that, we're going to throw a bunch of Busch Light at you. No, we're doing top quality, top quality beer.
Love it.
That's cool.
So, but the diaper party was awesome.
Yeah.
It's
I know. I'm just thinking about the diaper party. I'm like, man,
exactly.
I can't believe we did that.
Well, there's a lot of things to reflect on that you can't believe you did.
Yeah.
I was just immersed in the number of stories that this place has, and no doubt, every construction project has those stories, but not every one of them has those stories where everybody knows each other.
Oh, yeah.
And shares those stories. Because a lot of times it's, we hired the electrician. That electrician had some stories, but he took them back to wherever he went.
Right. He didn't share them with the carpenter or the...
Exactly. And or here on this podcast, we've heard so many of the stories that made this place come to life, and it's really cool.
I'm still trying to figure out how Chris has maintained so many friends in so many different areas.
Me too,
makes good beer.
That actually want to help him.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that I knew that many people.
Oh yeah, because I mean, there was this time in high school that he tried to light me on fire, and
just one.
It was just a joke.
Explain, Chris. Come on.
I mean, I'm still trying to understand why I'm here, but
I would have put you out.
Oh yeah.
Well, that left a mark, so you got to share that one.
I will say that
we should probably not go into a whole lot of details on that one.
The biggest takeaway is we were always pretty responsible drinkers. Like if we were drinking, we either drank at Chris's house and stayed there, or we went to Larry's campground and stayed there. But we would relentlessly mess with each other all night. So one night we were camping out at Larry's.
You can tell the whole story. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Chris is real nervous right now.
Oh yeah. We were camping out at Larry's, and Chris might have had a little animosity against me because there was a night he thought it would be funny to put on my football equipment.
I knew this was coming.
And he put on my helmet, he put on my pads, and he
said, "Look, I'm a football player."
And he
just like you in the Marines.
And he was probably calling me fat or something. I don't remember.
Fat guy calling somebody fat. Yeah.
In high school you weren't fat. I was the big fat lineman, but he put on my shoulder pads and helmet, and I just relentlessly started beating out of him. And I don't
I had
think
padding on. It was fine.
I'm not sure if it was the same night. It might have been a different night, but all of a sudden I wake up in my tent and it looks like it's daylight out. And I'm pretty sure it's not time to get up yet. And then I just see a blaze, and there's a ring of fire around my tent because Chris and Larry used to like to light fires with used oil from the whatever mechanic shop he was working at the time.
Oh man!
So I had
so that's what you did. You circled his tent with used oil and then lit it.
Oh yeah. Ring of fire around my tent.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good old times.
That must have been both spiritual and terrifying.
I was trying to give him a nice spiritual thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Awakening. Oh, an awakening.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
So
I was definitely awakened.
Yeah, good. Well, it worked.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, story time over yet?
You invited him, man. Wow. So yeah, you're right. It's amazing this guy does have any friends.
That's true. I mean, so many.
Yeah.
He lucked out because I mean he had a decent enough carpenter friend, couple electrician friends.
Yeah. Yep.
I had a couple IT friends.
Yeah.
An artist.
An artist.
An artist friend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else does throw a shout out to?
Oh man. Honestly, there's so many.
Just a lot of people.
Your water friend, Chris Erickson.
Chris
Erickson.
Yeah.
Chris Erickson had quite a few days helping with. We did drywall in the basement with Chris. We did some of the framing with Chris.
It is funny though when you open something like a brewery, and I don't know if it works that way when you open a dentist's office. Maybe it does. But like when you open a brewery, you have those friends come to you, and they're like, "Hey man, if you need any help doing IT, whatever needs to be done, plumbing."
Well, you have the luxury of this being a cool thing that people want to be involved in. They like to drink beer. It's a passion project. So, they want to be attached to it.
So I didn't know that was going to happen like that when we started this, but I'm very grateful that it did because it cost way more money to do this than I thought it would.
Oh, totally.
And we did it on the cheap. And it still is.
What's crazy is there's things you can do yourself.
Right.
And me knowing what I know now, being so many more years in the field, is there's things you can do yourself and there's things you can't, and you can't do plumbing yourself. Right. It has to be
legally you have to
legally. Legally, plumbing was a big bill for you.
Right.
I knew that it was a big bill, and then the whole new code for the fire safety.
Yep, sprinklers.
Yes,
and all that.
big time fire safety, and you had to do it for the whole building.
Right.
You literally.
No, just this half. But yeah.
I thought. Didn't you have to upgrade the rest of the building?
The water service into the building had to be upgraded. For the whole thing, but yeah.
So what's going to be really awesome is when Chris opens a second location and calls you all back.
Yeah.
Hey, we need help.
We're putting the band back together.
They're putting the band back together.
I got pizza.
Who needs diapers?
Free diaper parties for
that's right.
the first 1,000 hours of help.
What a deal. Oh, man.
Jeez.
Well, that is super cool. Love to hear that. And I'm still thinking about how you did a lot of this literally in the name of education. You shared that information with next generation and students and the whole thing. And I think it's important when, if you're at home or in the car and you're listening to this, the next time you come to the Stubborn, right, take another look at that sign. And take another look at the sign behind the bar and all the details that we talked about, because those weren't just popped up there by some nameless, faceless contractor. These are real people, local real people here that did that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Child labor in some cases.
In some cases. We're not above that.
No, they were definitely all learning experiences, and most of it was them observing. I mean, there were some instances where they actually contributed, but they were all very good learning experiences, myself included. I appreciate what I learned here. I appreciated making friendships stronger and enjoying everything that I did here.
Well, you're welcome.
Nice.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah. I thank you every time I get a beer.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
really,
there you go.
Really, thank you.
Well,
Ryan, thank you.
You're very welcome.
No, it was very cool to have you on to share those stories. Sorry it took 7 years to get you here, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we're all busy.
Well, we did just start the podcast 2 years ago.
Yeah, it goes by fast, though.
So, I didn't know it's been that long.
But the...
now he's upset.
The undercurrent, though, again, there is that there is an anniversary coming up.
There sure is, Kevin, and it is called Sausagefest. Instead of just, it's our 7th anniversary, come celebrate us like everybody else does, we have a Sausage Fest.
Outstanding.
Thank you. Yeah.
The best part about it is like many bars, you can walk in, you can come in here on that day and be like, it's a real sausage fest in here.
Correct. And
it is.
It's generally, it is a brewery. It's generally a sausage fest.
Okay, so here's what Sausage Fest is. Like the week before Sausage Fest, I don't have the dates on me. Check our Facebook page; it's all on there. But and we have an event made up for it. So a week before, I think you can start bringing in your summer sausage entries. So if you're not familiar with the the Metro St. Louis area, when you get into the little outskirts area like we are, people like to go deer hunting. They like to shoot deer.
They do.
Mix it with some pork, let it hang for 6 weeks, and
bring it to the bar.
Bring it to the bar. And if you have the best, you will walk away with a Stubborn German T-shirt that on the back says, "I have the best sausage."
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So-
just for the winner, right?
That's like
That's for the winner, yeah.
Abe Froman approved.
Yes.
Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
That's right.
Who's the judge? How does that work?
Oh, I am.
There you go. So
No, it's I have a special panel of judges that are into food-related things that have, what I would consider really nice, really good, a palate for tasting things.
you got a good handle on the meat vein.
Yes. Josh Perschbacher is one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a foodie for sure.
People that make food or into that in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, so we have the sausage competition, and then so the night, it's a Saturday. So during the evening we have the Deutschmeister brass band, and they shove like 25 chairs in this little area and
Wow.
play a bunch of traditional German music, and we drink beer and get loud and
Oh yeah. So as we've said before, that band is outstanding.
they're fun.
And to have that volume in this space has to be just mind blowing.
It's crazy. Oh yeah, everybody's in it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's
So
involved.
cool.
Yeah, there's not a person you can't escape it. So
No.
Brings back the old feels of Mississippi Nights, where you're just packed in here with awesome music
yeah,
and spirits.
Check the Facebook page for the dates.
Now, even
Yes.
if you don't want to have your sausage entered in the competition, if
Yeah.
you're a little intimidated by that,
Bashful.
you can still come up here and
sausage envy.
Many people will bring their own sausage, and
Yes.
there's plenty to go around and eat, and you can just
And we take the leftovers from the competition. We'll put them on plates and
Yeah.
stuff. And so there's like summer sausage all over the place. And there's just sausage as far as the eye can see.
Man, this sounds like
The
it sounds
Sausage
like
Fest.
paradise.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Take that as you will.
good beer, good sausage,
Yeah,
good people.
right.
Oh, it's
everybody
gonna
having a
be
good
fun.
time. And
It
then the
always is.
music and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Something to look forward to.
Yeah,
You gonna
definitely.
be here for that one, Ryan?
I don't ever miss a Sausage Fest.
I heard that about you.
Good one. Yes.
Now-
the whole show.
What our listeners really look forward to, though, is the German word of the day.
Do they though?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, we all like to be wrong together.
The ones who tune into the end do.
Right.
You check the heat map, you see it spikes at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. If okay, so the German word of the day was Tischler, and Jared guessed that meant a tri-tip steak. Kevin thought it meant a bargainer or someone who bargains.
Bargainer.
And Ryan said a delicious sausage. He's going on theme.
He
Yeah.
knows. He
See,
knows
he's
how
a
it
smart
works.
guy.
I had no
Right.
idea.
He says he's never heard this.
I just like sausage.
Yeah. So Tischler, actually, you had the right idea. It means carpenter.
Carpenter.
Oh man, so obvious,
of
but yet
course.
so far out of
Right.
reach.
Should have known that.
You had sausage on the mind. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
Carpenters like sausage.
They do.
And wood,
This carpenter likes sausage.
just how it goes.
Kevin, let's wrap this up.
All right. Well, this has been the Stubborn German Podcast. I'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Ryan Hampton, for joining us and for helping to build the very place where we are. So thank you so much.
Oh, I enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. So did we.
Yes.
If you dig this kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button, and then our producer, Mr. Chasson, will make sure that a personally delivered Stubborn German Podcast appears on whatever device you would like it to.
Absolutely.
Jared delivers it like to your house?
Magic.
Hand delivered.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know
is.
it.
Yep. It takes a lot of time.
How do I
Chris.
sign up for that?
Yeah, you need to click. Ask Tammy. That's what
Okay,
I'm
I will.
And for Mr. Chris Ron, Jared Chasson, and Ryan Hampton, I'm Kevin Ostie saying, Prost.
Prost.